Hey, it's Queenie and I've got a story that will make you question what's real. Little glitches, strange voices, time slipping in ways she can't explain. Everything she knows begins to unravel right under her feet, and the line between normal and something much darker starts to blur. Stick with me. Chapter 1: The Health Kick. Licole had never seen Lamont read anything so carefully that didn't come with a bill attached. He stood in the kitchen, one hand braced on the counter, the other holding a bottle of vitamins inches from his face, lips moving silently as he followed each line. 2 capsules daily, he said finally, with food, not on an empty stomach. Licole leaned against the refrigerator, swirling a thick green smoothie in her cup like she was trying to convince herself it was worth drinking. You reading that like it's scripture. Lamont didn't look up. You the one said we need to start taking this serious. I did, she said, lifting the cup. I just didn't say we had to suffer. He popped the top, shook 2 capsules into his palm, and tossed them back with a swallow of water. This ain't suffering. This is discipline. Licole took a sip. Regret followed immediately. That tastes like yard clippings, she muttered. That's because it probably is, he said, finally cracking a smile. 3 weeks. That's how long they'd been on this new routine. No soda, no bread, cutting back on sugar, water bottles everywhere. Vitamins lined up like soldiers on the counter. It started late one night after Lamont came home quieter than usual. He dropped his keys, sat down slow, rubbed the back of his neck like his body didn't belong to him anymore. My job ain't even hard, he said, but lately, it feel like it is. Licole didn't hesitate. Then we fix it. Now here they were, trying. From down the hallway came soft, dragging footsteps. Mommy. Licole turned as Hannah appeared in the doorway, wrapped in her blanket, hair wild, eyes barely open. Nah paused, squinting at the cup in Licole's hand. What is that? Licole held it up. Breakfast. Nah blinked. That looked nasty. Lamont laughed under his breath. Honesty early in the morning. It's good for you, Licole said. Nana shook her head slowly, already committed to her stance. I want cereal. The healthy cereal. Nana's face dropped like gravity, hit it harder than usual. From the living room came the sound of plastic scraping across the floor. Bri, right on schedule. He pushed his truck into the kitchen, engine noises rumbling low in his throat. He stopped when he saw Licole's drink. He reached for it without asking. Bri, don't. Too late. He took a sip. His entire face folded in on itself like the taste personally offended him. Licole laughed. A real one this time, bending slightly as she wiped at her eyes. Okay, she said. I won't make y'all drink it. Good, Lamont said, because we wasn't. The kitchen filled with small, ordinary sounds. Cabinets opening, cereal pouring, Bri's truck rolling in uneven circles across the tile. A normal morning, the kind that doesn't ask for attention, the kind you don't realize is important until something interrupts it. Licole reached for the bread out of habit. Her hand paused midair. Right, no bread. She let out a small breath and grabbed the cereal instead. As she poured it into the bowls, a dull pressure pressed in behind her eyes. Not sharp, not sudden, just there. She blinked, once, twice. The light from the window felt a little too bright, like it had been turned up without anyone saying anything. You good? Lamont asked, watching her now. Yeah, she said quickly, too quickly. Just a headache. He nodded like it made sense. Detox, she added, softer this time. He said, that's what they say. She handed Nana her bowl and set Bry's in front of him, then rested her hand on the counter for a second longer than she meant to. The room felt Chapter 2, Her Mom's Kitchen. Her mom's kitchen had a way of making everything feel smaller, not in a bad way, just contained. Like whatever you brought in with you couldn't stretch out too far. The air smelled like coffee and something sautéing in a pan. Onions, maybe. Or garlic, something warm, familiar. Licole sat at the table, one elbow resting against the wood, her fingers pressed lightly into her temple. You want some? Her mom asked, not turning around, already knowing the answer. Licole shook her head. I'm good. You said that last time and still ate half my plate. Licole smiled faintly. That was different. Her mom hummed under her breath, moving around the kitchen like she'd done it 1,000 times. Because she had. Knife against cutting board, pan sizzling softly, cabinet opening, closing, normal sounds, comforting sounds. Licole let her eyes drift around the room. Nothing had really changed. Same curtains, same table, same little crack in the corner of the wall her mom always said she was going to fix. She pressed her fingers a little harder against her temple. That pressure again. Stronger this time. You all right? Her mom asked, glancing over her shoulder now. Yeah, Licole said, too quick again. Her mom turned back to the stove, but slower this time. You sure? Licole nodded, even though her mom wasn't looking. The light coming through the window felt sharp. Too sharp. Like it was cutting across the room instead of just sitting in it. She squinted slightly. Ma, she said, her voice softer now. Do the light look weird to you? Her mom paused. Weird how? Licole hesitated. I don't know. Just bright. Her mom turned the stove down and faced her fully now. You been getting enough sleep? Yeah. You eating? Licole let out a small laugh. Too much healthy stuff, if anything. That ain't a thing, her mom said, but her voice had that edge now. That quiet concern that didn't need to be loud to be heard. Licole tried to shake it off. I'm fine, Ma. It's probably just a headache. Her mom studied her for a second longer, then nodded. All right, but if you're not feeling right, you need to say that. I will. But even as she said it, the words felt distant, like they had to travel too far to reach her own ears. The room shifted, just slightly. Licole blinked. The table looked farther away, or maybe she felt farther from it. She sat up straighter. Ma? Her mom turned quickly this time. What? Licole swallowed. I don't feel. The sentence never finished. The world tilted hard to the left. Her chair scraped violently against the floor as her body jerked. Then everything hit at once. Her arms locked, her fingers curled tight. Her vision snapped into fragments of light and shadow. Chapter 3, She Wakes Up. Licole woke up like she was rising through water, slow, heavy, like something had been holding her down and finally decided to let go. Her eyes opened to sunlight spreading across the ceiling in long, pale lines. It looked soft, harmless, familiar. For a moment, she didn't move. She just listened. The house was awake, running water from the bathroom, a cabinet closing somewhere down the hall. Footsteps, steady, normal. Licole blinked, letting her eyes adjust, then turned her head slightly. Everything looked the same. The dresser against the wall with one drawer that never fully closed. The chair in the corner with clothes draped over it like they'd been placed there and forgotten. The curtains pulled halfway open, letting the morning in. Nothing out of place, nothing broken, nothing that said something had happened. She pushed herself up onto her elbows. Her body felt heavy. Not sore, not painful, just slower than usual. Like her limbs were catching up to her thoughts instead of moving with them. What time is it? She asked, her voice rough from sleep. In the bathroom, Lamont stood at the sink brushing his teeth. He looked at her through the mirror, foam at the corner of his mouth. Almost 8. His voice came out casual, too casual. Like this morning didn't carry anything unusual in it. Licole sat up fully, swinging her legs over the side of the bed. Her feet touched the floor, cold, solid, real. She stayed there for a second, grounding herself in it. From down the hallway came the sound of quick footsteps, light and uneven. Then laughter. Nah, right on time. A second later, the familiar scraping roll of plastic followed behind it. Bry's truck? Licole let out a quiet breath she didn't realize she was holding. Okay. Everything was fine. It had to be. She rubbed her face slowly, pressing her palms into her eyes before letting them fall away. The last thing she remembered, her mom's kitchen. Sitting at the table, that pressure behind her eyes, the light feeling too bright, her mom's voice asking if she was okay. Then, nothing. Licole frowned slightly. She tried to reach for the rest of the memory, tried to pull it forward, but it wasn't there. Not faded, not blurry, just gone. Like a page torn clean out of a book. She stood up slowly, her balance held, but something in her body felt delayed, like she moved first and then felt it a second later. "Did I fall asleep at my mom's yesterday?" she asked, walking toward the bathroom. Lemmet spit into the sink and rinsed his mouth before answering. "Yeah, you was tired." Licole leaned against the doorframe watching him. "That's it?" he shrugged, grabbing a towel and drying his hands. "You said you ain't feel good. Came home, went to sleep." He didn't look at her when he said it, just moved around the bathroom like it was any other morning. Like the question didn't matter. Licole studied him for a second longer than she meant to, waiting for something else, something more. But nothing came. She said softly. It didn't feel like enough, but she let it sit, for now. She turned and walked into the hallway. Nah ran straight into her legs. "Mommy." Licole smiled automatically, bending down to hug her. "Hey, baby." Nana wrapped her arms around her tight, then pulled back, looking up at her with sleepy eyes. "You sleep all day?" Licole blinked. "All day?" Nana nodded. "I tried to wake you." Licole's eyes flicked toward the bedroom behind her, then back down. "I was just tired," she said. The words came easy, too easy, like they were already waiting. Bry rolled his truck into her foot and looked up at her, completely unbothered, like the world hadn't shifted even a little. Licole straightened slowly. Her head still felt off. Not spinning, not aching, just not clear. Like trying to remember a dream that kept slipping away the more you reached for it. She walked into the kitchen. Everything sat exactly where it should. Cups near the sink, cereal boxes lined up on the counter, the vitamins still sitting where they had left them, untouched. She paused, picked up the bottle, turned it slowly in her hand. For a second, the label didn't make sense. The words blurred together. Licole blinked. Once, twice. It snapped back into focus. Normal again. "You taking those today or what?" Lamont called from the bedroom. Licole looked down at the bottle, then toward the hallway. "Yeah," she said after a small pause. She shook 2 capsules into her hand. They sat there for a second longer than they should have. She stared at them, then lifted her hand and swallowed. Chapter 4, Glitch. It didn't happen all at once. If it had, Licole might have taken it seriously, might have stopped, might have said something. But it came in small pieces, easy to ignore, easy to explain away. At first, it started with time. Licole stood in the kitchen rinsing out a cup, watching the water swirl down the drain. The house was quiet for a moment, the kind of quiet that only lasted seconds before one of the kids filled it again. She glanced at the clock on the stove. 9:12. She turned the water off, set the cup in the sink, and wiped her hands on a towel. Then she walked into the living room. Nah, sat on the floor with her tablet, legs crossed, completely focused. Bry pushed his truck back and forth, making soft engine noises under his breath. Licole smiled faintly and looked toward the wall clock. 11:47. She froze. Her eyes narrowed slightly. She looked back toward the kitchen like maybe she had read the time wrong, then back at the clock. Her chest tightened just a little. "That's weird," she muttered. She tried to think. Had she done something? Sat down? Lost track of time? Maybe. That happens sometimes. She let it go, or tried to. But the feeling didn't leave. It sat with her, quiet, watching. Later, Nana stood in the doorway. "Mommy, can I watch cartoons now?" Licole glanced up from her phone. "You already are watching something," she said. Nana shook her head. "No, I'm not." Licole frowned slightly, looking past her into the living room. The TV was off. The tablet sat on the couch. Dark. Licole blinked. "I thought you were just..." Nana tilted her head. "Can I watch cartoons now?" Licole hesitated, then nodded. "Yeah, go ahead." Nah smiled and ran off. Licole stared at the empty doorway for a second longer than she meant to. Her phone buzzed in her hand, pulling her attention back. A text. She opened it. It froze. The screen locked in place like it forgot what it was supposed to do. Licole tapped it. Nothing. She pressed the side button. The screen went black, then came back. The message was gone. Okay, she whispered. Her voice didn't sound convinced. From the living room, Nana's voice carried again. Mommy, can I watch cartoons now? Licole turned slowly. Nana stood in the doorway, same spot, same posture, same expression, the exact same. Licole stared at her. A strange chill moved up her arms. Didn't you just ask me that? She said carefully. Nana blinked. No, Licole swallowed. Her mouth felt dry all of a sudden. You sure? Nana nodded, waiting, patient, like she hadn't said it before, like this was the first time. Licole forced a small smile. Yeah, you can. Nana smiled again, the same way, then turned and walked away. Licole didn't move, didn't blink, didn't breathe fully. Her heart beat just a little faster now. Not panic, not yet, just awareness. Something wasn't right. She stood there for a moment longer, then shook her head slightly. You just distracted, she murmured. That had to be it. Too much on her mind, not enough sleep, stress. That made sense. It had to. She picked her phone back up and walked toward the kitchen, placing it on the counter. The screen flickered once before going still. Licole paused, staring at it, then looked away. No, she wasn't about to start overthinking everything. From the hallway, Lamont stepped into view. He had his keys in his hand. I'm about to head out, he said. Licole looked at him. Already? He nodded. Yeah, got a couple houses to hit today. She watched him for a second. Something about his face made her pause. He looked at her, but not fully, like he was looking at something just behind her or through her. You okay? She asked. The question slipped out before she could stop it. Lamont hesitated, just for a second, then nodded. Yeah, I'm good. But his eyes didn't match it. There was something there, something heavy, something quiet, like he was holding something in, like he knew something she didn't. Licole felt that same small tightness in her chest again. You sure? She asked. This time he looked directly at her, and for a moment, just a moment, his expression shifted, softened, like he was about to say something else, something real. But then it was gone. Yeah, he said, I'm good. He walked past her, brushing her shoulder lightly. The contact felt delayed, like she felt it. Chapter 5. Before March 17, Licole stood in the kitchen longer than she needed to, not doing anything, just standing there. The house moved around her like it always did. Cartoons playing in the living room, Bry's truck bumping into furniture, the faint hum of something running in the background. Normal. Everything sounded normal, but something didn't feel right. Licole turned slowly and walked toward the wall where the calendar hung. It was the same one they always used. Big squares, bold numbers, little notes scribbled in different inks, appointments, reminders, random things Lemmet wrote that only he understood. She stepped closer. March. Her eyes scanned the dates. 1, 2, 3. Her gaze slowed, then stopped. March 17, circled, not lightly, pressed in, like whoever circled it meant to remember something important. Licole frowned. Her fingers hovered just above the paper. I don't remember this, she whispered. She leaned in closer, trying to trigger something, anything. But nothing came. No memory. No feeling. Just a blank space where something should have been. Her chest tightened slightly. She traced the circle with her finger. Why would I circle this? Her voice sounded too loud in the quiet. From the living room, Nana laughed. The sound didn't reach her the way it normally would. It felt far, like it had to travel to get to her. Licole swallowed and stepped back from the calendar. Think. She forced herself to think. Her last clear memory, her mom's kitchen, sitting at the table, that pressure in her head, the light, her mom asking if she was okay. Then nothing, just a drop, a cut, like the rest of the moment had been erased. Licole shook her head slightly. No, that don't make sense. She turned quickly, grabbing her phone from the counter. If something happened, there would be something here. A call, a message, something. She unlocked it. Her screen lit up. Normal. Too normal. She opened her messages, scrolled. Nothing unusual. No missed calls from her mom. No texts asking if she made it home. No follow-up. No concern. Licole's brows pulled together. That don't make no sense, she said under her breath. If she had gotten sick at her mom's house, if something had actually happened, her mom would have called, texted, shown up, something. But there was nothing. Just silence. She opened her call log, scrolled again. Same thing. Empty of anything important. Her heart started to beat a little faster. Not panic, not yet, but close enough to feel it building. She backed out and opened her photos. Maybe there was something there, something she forgot she took. But the pictures looked normal too. Random shots of the kids. A blurry picture of Bri moving too fast. Not making a face at the camera. Nothing out of place, nothing that explained anything. Licole locked her phone slowly. Her reflection stared back at her in the black screen. For a second, just a second, it didn't feel like her. She blinked. The feeling passed. She turned back toward the calendar. March 17th. Still circled, still empty, still wrong. How did I get home? She asked quietly. The question sat in the air, heavy, unanswered. She tried to picture it. The drive, her car, the road, but it wouldn't come. It was like trying to remember something that never happened. Her stomach tightened, a slow, uncomfortable twist. Did I drive? She whispered. No answer. Did somebody bring me? Nothing. The silence stretched, too long, too quiet. From the living room, Mommy, Licole jumped slightly. Nah, Chapter 6, The Voice. Licole needed quiet. Not the kind that came from turning the TV down, sending the kids into another room. The kind that settled deeper than that. The kind that made everything slow down enough for her to catch up to her own thoughts. Because something wasn't right, and the more she tried to ignore it, the louder it felt. She walked into the bedroom and pushed the door halfway closed behind her. Not all the way, just enough. Like she still needed to hear the house, still needed to know she wasn't alone. She sat down on the floor beside the bed, crossing her legs slowly. Her body still felt slightly delayed, like every movement had to pass through something before it reached her. She rested her hands on her knees, closed her eyes. Just breathe, she whispered. In, out, out. At first, nothing changed. The same background noise sat underneath everything. The faint sound of cartoons from the living room, Bri's truck dragging across the floor in uneven lines, the soft creak of the house settling into itself. Normal, everything was normal. Licole focused harder. In, out, in, out. Her shoulders lowered slightly. The tension in her chest loosened just enough to notice. Her thoughts didn't stop, but they slowed. Instead of crashing into each other, they moved in a line, one at a time. The calendar, March 17th, the missing memory, the way Nana repeated herself, the time jumping, the phone freezing, the way Lamont looked at her, like he was holding something back, like he was waiting for something. Licole's breathing faltered for a second, then steadied again, in, out, in. Licole, her eyes opened instantly. Her body went still, completely still. She didn't move right away, didn't speak, didn't breathe fully. The room sat quiet around her. The door still half open, the bed untouched, nothing out of place. But she had heard it, clear, close, not imagined. Her throat tightened. Lamont, she called softly. No answer. The house continued like nothing had happened. Cartoons, truck wheels, distant, normal sounds. Licole swallowed. Okay, she whispered. Maybe she was drifting, half asleep. That happens. She closed her eyes again, slower this time, more careful, like she was waiting for something instead of relaxing into it. In, out, in. Licole, baby. Her eyes snapped open again, faster this time. Her heart kicked hard in her chest. That wasn't Lamont. That wasn't anything inside this house. That was Mom? The word came out before she could stop it. She pushed herself up quickly, her balance slightly off for half a second before it corrected. I hear you, she said, stepping into the hallway. Her voice sounded louder out here. Too loud. Mom, where are you? She moved down the hall, checking the living room first. Nah sat on the floor, eyes locked on the TV. Bry lay on his stomach, pushing his truck slowly in circles. Neither of them reacted. Neither of them looked up. Y'all hear that? Licole asked. Nah shook her head without looking away from the screen. Hear what? Licole hesitated, her mouth opened, then closed. Nothing, she said, but the word didn't feel true. She turned away slowly, back toward the hallway. Her chest felt tight now, not painful, just aware, listening, waiting. Then faint, soft, like it had to travel through something thick to reach her. Licole, her breath caught. I'm right here, she said quickly, turning in place, searching. Mom, where are you? Her voice echoed slightly off the walls. Too empty, too alone, no answer. The silence stretched again, longer this time, heavier. Licole stepped into the kitchen. Nothing. Back into the hallway. Her eyes scanned every corner like she might miss something if she blinked too long. Mom, say something, she whispered. Her voice cracked slightly at the end. The house didn't respond. The air didn't shift. Nothing moved, but she knew what she heard. She knew that voice. There was no mistaking it. Her hands trembled slightly at her sides. Small, uncontrolled. Why can't I see you? She asked. The question left her mouth before she could stop it. And once it was out, it stayed there, hanging, waiting for something to answer it, but nothing did. From the living room, Nana laughed suddenly at something on the TV. The sound felt too bright, too sharp, like it didn't belong to the moment anymore. Bry's truck hit the wall with a soft thud, rolled back, kept going, normal. Everything was normal, except it wasn't. Licole turned slowly in a circle. Chapter 7, The Beeping. The sound was already there when Licole opened her eyes. Steady, sharp, unforgiving. Beep, pause, beep, pause, beep. Her face tightened against the pillow. At first she didn't move, didn't fully wake up, just listened. Beep, pause, beep. Her eyes opened slowly. The ceiling came into view, same as always. Same faint lines, same light stretching across it from the window. Nothing different, nothing wrong, except beep, pause, beep. Licole frowned. She pushed herself up onto her elbows, listening harder now. Lamont, she called, her voice still heavy with sleep. No answer. The sound didn't change, didn't pause, didn't react. Beep, pause, beep. She sat up slowly, her body moving with that same slight delay she had been feeling. Her feet touched the floor, cold, grounded, real. But the sound followed her, not from one direction, not from one place, just everywhere. Beep, beep. What is that? She whispered. She stood up and stepped into the hallway. The house looked normal, too normal. Na's door was open, empty. Bry's toys scattered across the floor, untouched. The living room sat still, no TV, no movement, no sound, except the beeping. Beep, pause, beep. Licole's chest tightened. Okay, she said under her breath, trying to stay calm. Okay, find it. She walked into the kitchen first, checked the stove, the microwave, the smoke detector. Nothing. Beep, pause, beep. She opened the refrigerator. Cold air hit her face. Silence inside. She closed it quickly. The sound didn't change, didn't move, didn't stop. Her head began to ache, that same pressure, but stronger now, more insistent. She pressed her fingers to her temple. Where is that coming from? She said louder this time. No answer, just beep, pause, beep. Her breathing picked up slightly. Not panic, not yet, but close enough to feel it building. She moved faster now, room to room, checking everything, closets, counters, corners, nothing. The sound stayed the same, constant, unmoving. Beep, pause, beep. Licole covered her ears. It didn't help. The sound wasn't outside of her. It was inside the space around her, wrapped around her, following her. Her chest rose and fell quicker now, frustration creeping in. Stop, she said under her breath. The sound continued. Beep, pause, beep. Her eyes darted toward the bathroom. The door stood slightly open. Quiet, still, something about it pulled her forward. She walked toward it slowly, pushed the door open. The room looked normal. Sink, mirror, tub, nothing out of place. But the beeping felt louder here. Closer. Beep, pause, beep. Licole turned the faucet without thinking. Water rushed out hard, filling the tub. The sound of it crashed against the silence. For a moment, just a moment, it drowned everything else out. She exhaled, relief flickering across her face, then beep, pause, beep, still there, still cutting through everything. Her frustration snapped. She stepped into the tub, fully clothed, and lowered herself into the water as it rose. The fabric clung to her instantly, heavy, cold, but she didn't care. She sank deeper. The water reached her shoulders, the beeping still there, still constant, still impossible to escape. Her chest tightened. She took a deep breath and slipped under the water. Silence, immediate, complete. The sound disappeared. Relief flooded her body, her muscles loosened, her eyes closed. For the first time since waking, quiet. Then voices, faint at first, muffled, like they were being carried through something thick. Levels are extremely high. Licole's eyes opened underwater. Her body went still. Another voice. It's throughout her entire system. Her heart started to pound. The sound of it filled her ears. Lead poisoning. The words hit her like something physical. Her chest burned, but she didn't move, didn't come up. It's in her bones, packed in the intestines. Her eyes widened. Her hands clenched slightly in the water. A third voice, quieter, more serious. The damage is severe. A pause. Then, she may not be able to have children again. Licole's chest seized. Her lungs screamed for air, but she stayed under for— Yeah, I can feel it. You got questions, pieces that don't quite fit, moments that didn't make sense. Don't worry. You're not supposed to understand it all yet. The next story will clear everything up. So before Licole, the other side of reality drops, subscribe, share, like, and